Today I am unboxing and making with the Bargain Bead box for November 2025, and this month's box was called Winterberry Wishes, and it's absolutely gorgeous. As you can see, it's a mix of coppers and pale blues and purples, and I just love this color palette. This is one of the best values that I have ever found for bead makers. I always say I don't know how a jewelry maker or even a crafter can live without getting this box every month. It's so reasonably priced, and it is packed. Like this month there are 21 items in the box. If you were to order them all separately, it's around $85, but you're paying $24. And if you're in the continental United States, the shipping is free. And on top of that, I have a discount code that will give you a really nice discount off of your first box. And on top of that, there's an insert that comes in every month's box, and there is a code printed on the back of that insert that you can use on the sister website Bead Box Bargains for 30% off. So in essence, it gives you wholesale pricing without having a resale license or a tax ID number, and it's just a really amazing deal. And the other good thing about the code is you can use it as many times as you want, over and over again during the month. It's not a one-time code. So I love Bargain Bead Box. This is one of my personal subscriptions that I signed up for years before I had a YouTube channel. I just think it's amazing. So I'm going to do a pretty quick unboxing because I want to make some things with this box. Obviously, it's too beautiful. So the first item is a teardrop pendant. It's a 30mm amethyst pendant, and I absolutely love mine. It's a natural stone, so there will be some variation in the color, but I really love mine. And this is probably, maybe, I have a couple of favorites in this box, but these are little faceted rondelles, and it's a this is difficult for me to say. It's a phosphosiderite bead, and it's a really amazing how opaque and saturated this stone is, and I just absolutely love it. Those of you that have been on my channel, you know that when I get smaller beads like this, I love to make them into ring components and also spiral beads, so it gives a small bead more of a presence in a design. But these would also be beautiful as spacers. If you like to use seed beads as spacer beads, this is like really upping your game. But here's a bracelet with one of my ring components that I make with gemstones, and I don't know if I'm going to do that or a spiral bead. For those of you that are new to my channel, this was the Bargain Bead box from 2 months back, and I use small beads to make a spiral bead and choose some bead caps, and it just makes such a beautiful element. Now this one was done with seed beads, but any of these tiny beads work great to turn into a spiral bead component or a ring component. And I may do that. I was considering doing that because I do want to make a necklace in today's video, but I haven't really fully worked out the design. I didn't do a sketch. I just wanted to dive in to the beads this time. This is another one of my favorite things in the box. This was a 7-inch strand, and it's an 8mm purple lepidolite, and it's just a smooth round, and I just absolutely love this gemstone. I cut mine open already. And then this is a 6mm aquamarine faceted round bead. There are 7 inches here, and I love it when I see that the gemstone is heated, because that way the color doesn't fade. It really stays true to what you have and lasts. So I just love that for a gemstone. And then I've cut this open. Did I cut this one open? Can't remember if I cut it or not. This is a 10mm purple aventurine. It's a frosted round bead, and there's a 7-inch strand here. So this is like that super rich, deep, just really gorgeous purple. It's like a very woody purple, if that's even a thing, but I love the frosted because it really does look like a stone. I mean, it has this really like natural stone look. And then this is an aquamarine. Oh, this is the one I cut open. This is an aquamarine faceted cylinder bead. So each cylinder is a little bit organic and oddly shaped, but it does have facets. And this is also heated, so this beautiful pale blue color, like on this one, I love that one. And I've loved to make earrings out of little cylinder beads like this. So that's another favorite of mine in the box. And then this is another favorite. Okay, Joey, it's all your favorite. I really love this color palette. I have to say, I love the copper metallic with purple. I'll probably pop in some gold accents, because gold is my favorite metal, but there's something about purple and copper that is just absolutely gorgeous. And this is a beautiful 5.5 millimeter, such a sweet size, English cut faceted crystal round, and it's in lavender AB. So if you're newer to bead descriptions and sizes, AB means Aurora Borealis. So that's that top finish that's applied to the bead that gives it that amazing sparkle. I just absolutely love that. This bead is gorgeous. This is another favorite of mine in the box. I guess the whole box is my favorite. This is a 3.5 millimeter crystal faceted rondelle, and it is called Winterberry Mix. I absolutely love this color palette. There's a tiny bit of baby pink in with several shades of purple and lavender, and this just makes my heart sing. In Joey land, this is like a perfect color palette right here. And here's another favorite. This is a beautiful high quality glass pearl, 8 millimeter. There's 15 inches here, and the color is called Mulberry. Oh my, I don't even need to say anything about it. It's just absolutely wonderful. It's a glass pearl with a lot of weight to it. It's just absolutely beautiful. I think I need a pair of earrings. I'm probably going to have to come back in another video because there's just too much goodness here. And then we have these gorgeous leaves, and they have that vitriol. So let's see what the colorway is on this. I don't remember. Slate rainbow leaf beads, and there is a lot of them here to work with. And I love the rainbow because you see gold, purple, blue, a little tiny bit of crystal peeking through. This might be my very favorite thing in the box. There are two stunning lampwork beads here. It's a twisted leaf, and it's got a copper rose. Can you see the copper shimmer in there? I need a pair of earrings out of these, and I need them immediately. So I love the large hole at the top of these, and I am going to make a pair of earrings. I just need a pair of earrings out of those right away. And then we got 4 pieces of this gorgeous pendant. Absolutely beautiful. I love this copper color. We got these beautiful pine cone charms in copper. I absolutely love those. And here are some are these poinsettias. These are supposed to be little poinsettia charms. There are 2 of those. I am crazy about the copper connectors. They're filigree, and they're dotted, and they're just so sweet and so dainty, and I just love them. And there's plenty here. I'm going to link them together, modify my chain. I haven't decided yet, as I said, but I know I definitely want to do some making. And then there's this beautiful oval copper bead. The drill hole goes through the middle like that. Isn't it gorgeous? And it's 2-sided. It has a little branch embossed on there. We got a whole pile of these gorgeous scroll bead caps, and this is one of my favorite chains. I love this textured oval link. This is so wonderful for making earrings, bracelets, necklaces, extender chains. I love it. There is 1 meter here. It's that sweet size, the 4x3 millimeter links, and I just absolutely love this. I have ordered this from the website before. We have gorgeous flower toggle rings with kind of the T-bar on these. Looks like a little leaf. And I am crazy about the bails. There are 6 pieces, 6 bails here, and they have like a little scroll work on them. They're really petite, but I was thinking how perfect they would be on a bracelet and then maybe a gold jump ring to dangle the pine cones from. That's what I was thinking. And then we got an entire bag assortment of jump rings in all different sizes. It's like the team over at Bargain Bead Box read my mind, because if you guys have been here before, you know my last few videos, I've been working from this jump ring assortment that I found in gold, and we got this from them in copper. It's so useful, and designing with jump rings is so fun. There's so much you can do with them, and you know, I can make them. It's pretty easy to make, but it's wonderful to get a collection going to some teeny tiny ones up to, it looks like maybe all the way up to 10 millimeter. So I love this antique copper jump ring mix, and I'm going to bring in a few things from my stash. In my little dish here, I have some acorn charms from the sister website, Bead Box Bargains. There is the code. I don't know if these are still on the website because things do come and go, but I have ordered those, and these are just some copper spacers from my stash. I love this little squarescape, that's a tongue twister, square spacer bead from an assortment that I always link in my description box. And I have some pink crystals here because I'm crazy about the Winterberry mix, and I wanted to add a little bit more pink into my design. So I just have a few of those here. And so what I'm going to do is pick out the things that will go into a couple of projects, and it'll just be a second for you. I'm going to clean up a little bit. Okay, I've made a little start. Look at this adorable earring. I just love it. I love this lilac, this really like dusty lavender color with the pink and the copper. So pretty. I made my own ear wire for my earring, and they're super simple. And then I've also taken some 20 gauge wire and created a few components, and you see here I've added in just some pink crystals from my stash because I wanted 20 gauge wire, and the little mix that has the pink crystals in it, they're really small and they don't go on 20 gauge wire. But look how pretty just adding that little pop of pink crystal is with the leaf. So that's going to go into my necklace project somehow. I didn't do a sketch or anything this time, so I'm kind of winging it, take you guys along for the ride. But I put my chain around my neck. I like long necklaces, but you could do this any length you want. And I took the toggle and just attached that to one end, and then came to the middle and snipped. So I now have 2 lengths of chain. But let's do the earring first. I'm going to be pulling in my Soft Flex 18 gauge wire to make the focal on my necklace, and 20 gauge wire to make my components. And I have the rest of my chain here, so I'm just going to take 4 links. And really this earring was all about the orientation, so I wanted this jump ring to just be like a circle in the design. So in order to have my leaf facing forward, you know, hanging forward, I had to do a perpendicular jump ring, a parallel jump ring, and then I needed 4 links of chain so that the top link will be going parallel to my mat and, you know, fit perfectly on my ear wire. And I made these so that the opening of my loop on my ear wire is hidden. So when you look at the earring, it's just seamless, and you just see the beads and the chain and the little negative space of that ring. So that's the design on that, really simple. So I'm going to come here and get 1, 2, 3, 4 links. These links actually open, so you could open them, but I'm just snipping. So there's my 4 links, and I'm going to take my other leaf. I am just insane about this leaf, and I hope that when the box extras go up on Bead Box Bargains that I will be able to get some more. And again, that code that comes on your insert for 30% off makes things like that really affordable. So I opened this ring pretty wide because I have to get over the glass. You know, I have to get the ring through the glass. This is super simple. It's just a connecting project. So you just want to wiggle it in there. And then I'm going to take my other ring and slide it on there while I have it open. Or you can open the other ring, whatever's easier. I did the other one this way. So that is the beauty of having all those sizes of jump rings. I had chosen the teeny tiniest one for the top of the leaf, and there is like one that's just slightly bit bigger, so I'm going to try that one. And if they don't hang exactly alike, I'll change out the other one. And you also have to open your jump ring pretty wide to get it in there. So that one went in just perfectly. That is lamp work. It is hand blown. Then I'm just going to feed one link of my chain on the jump ring. And that is ready to go. I'm gonna baby this closure. And I'm gonna make my ear wire, and I embellished the ear wire with one of those English cut crystals. I just love the color combination. So I'm gonna start out with my smallest one-step looper, the 1.5 millimeter. Put my 20 gauge wire in just past the back cutter, get that first loop in there, so it looks like that. And then I'm going to take one of my English cut crystals and put that on. And then I want the opening of this loop to be toward the inside of the earring. So I'm looking at the front of my ear wire. So I'm going to put my pliers on the wire right at the top of the bead, just a little bit past the top of the bead, so I can give this wire a bend forward. And that is just keeping that bead in place. Then I'm going to take my 6-step bail making plier, and I used the largest bail. And again, I'm going to be looking at the front of my earring, and I'm going to put it in so that I will be wrapping around that largest bail. I'm going to get everything as straight as I can so that on the back end of creating this ear wire, I don't have extra straightening to do. And I'm just going to bring that wire around, and my ear wire is formed. And now to trim the same way that I did the other one, I used the bottom of that loop as my measurement. And I'm going to trim right there. And now I take my flat nose pliers and line up the end of the wire so that this space of the flat nose plier creates my exact size that I did on the other side, and just kick that out, and look at that beautifully bead embellished handmade ear wire. I absolutely love this. Now I'm going to reach in and open that simple loop off to the side, not pulling it apart, open it like a jump ring, and then I'm going to choose which side of my leaf I want to be the front, and I want it to be that, and feed my chain onto my open loop, close, and it is done, except for smoothing out the end of my wire, which you can do with any kind of a metal nail file or a buffing block. And I think I might need to change this. Do they hang the same? They actually hang exactly the same. So I could change this jump ring. See how it's a little bit smaller? I think I will, just because I will know. I don't think anybody else would ever know, but I will know. So they are matching and just beautiful. And so I used my battery operated reamer to do this, but like I said, you can use a metal nail file or an emery board or a buffing block, but this has the wire rounder attachment, and I just put where I've cut my wire in there and press the button, and it just is perfectly smooth, nothing to scratch or cut a piercing. And the Soft Flex wire has an anti-tarnish coating. So that is really great for making your own ear wires because they will stay like that. Those are Joey earrings. I love those so much, and I want more of those leaves. Okay, so for my necklace, I have the start of a design here with these components. Here's the 3, and I don't even know how I'm going to arrange them, but I was thinking these 2 on one side, this on the other side, to create an asymmetrical design. And I have my Soft Flex 18 gauge wire here, and I'm gonna, before I cut it off the spool, get it as straight as I can, get a nice straight piece in here. And this is not planned out, not sketched, so I'm going to cut a pretty long length. Like this is about 9, maybe 10 inches. I don't want this to be super big because of the scale of my chain and, you know, everything else here, my amethyst pendant. But I'm going to do a spiral that goes like in opposite directions that's very open. So I'm going to start on this end and even come to the fatter, using my fatter round nose pliers. And then I'm going to just get a really open spiral. My advice for wire workers, if you're just starting to kind of play with wire, is to go slowly. I get a lot better result when I go slowly and I don't, you know, have unwanted kinks. And also you want to keep your wire warm. I am going to hammer this, so when I know that I'm going to hammer a design, I don't fuss as much over the shape because, you know, I'm going to misshape in it. When you hammer, you change the molecules in the wire. I actually love that shape. I think that is so sweet. And I'm going to take my ginormous bail making pliers. I love these crazy pliers. And I'm going to use this smallest bail. And I'm going to get this in here so that I am wrapping, so I get a spiral in the opposite direction. So I don't want to go this direction because it'll bump into this spiral. I'm creating almost like an S spiral. And I'm just going to get it started like around that. I love that. What a pretty shape. And so I definitely took off too much wire. So I'm going to trim a little bit. But I'm going to use this piece of my 18 gauge to make the second part of this. If I didn't say, I'm creating a front closure artisan hook. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to start coiling. This side is also going to be very open. That is really, really pretty. Okay, so I think I'm ready to hammer. I'm just looking to see if I want to tweak anything else. And what I'm looking at is that when I make my hook, I need a place that's fairly large for my hook to go into. And I think maybe right in here. And then on this side, I need to attach it to my chain. So let me hammer it because I will spread everything out and really change the shape and the look that I have so far. I'm going to bring in my bench block, my little bench block, and choose a hammer. And I think I will use my chasing hammer for this today. So I'm going to use this part of the chasing hammer to flatten my component, and then I'm going to dent it like some artisan, like that hammered look to me is so classic. So lower your volume or fast forward if you don't want to hear the tapping. Oh, I love this little component. That is so pretty. Absolutely gorgeous. And I don't even have to do much to it. It's so gorgeous. And so the other thing that I'm going to do is switch to gold jump rings. And just because, as you see, I've popped in a little bit of gold accents. I love gold and copper together, and I think I'm going to do 2 jump rings for each side. I won't connect until I make my handmade hook that's going to hook into the spiral. So take my little scrap of my 18 gauge wire, start with a blunt cut, and I'm going to start with a tiny little spiral, a more closed spiral on this side, because this is going to be my hook. So I'm going to make it so that it is closed up. I'm going to switch to my smaller round nose pliers. Okay, so I am ready to create my pendant. So my necklace is going to hook like that, and I'm going to put my pendant from here with 2 more gold jump rings after I do a little fancy wire work on it. So again, I'm going to take my Soft Flex 20 gauge wire and just get it nice and smooth and warm. I have about 12 inches here, which is probably more than I will need, but you know, I want to do this very creatively. Honestly, other than wrapping a nice loop, I don't have a plan. So, and I love to do that with wire. I love the way wire looks laying on beads. And so it's not very contrived or planned out. So, you know, play along with me, you know, I'll kind of try to tell you about my design decisions. And I do look for the natural path of the wire when I'm doing something like this. So I'm going to put my wire in so that I have a much shorter section coming off the back. And I'm just going to pull this up to the top. And I'm going to pinch these 2 wires together, but I'm going to be careful. It's kind of staying up a little bit away from the drill hole on the stone because I don't want to break my stone or put pressure on it. And I'm going to come right here where they meet and just snip that shorter wire. And then I do want to embellish my stone, but I need a loop here. So I need a loop that is going parallel to my mat because of the connection I've created here. So I'm going to get a hold of both of these wires and give that a 90-degree bend, and then come in with my round nose pliers and bring the wire over the barrel, rotate it, I'm going to come in the front here, continue bringing it around, get everything lined up nice and straight, that loop, you know, so that loop will be really pretty. And then I'm going to wrap down and encase this wire in my wraps. So get it in there pretty close. And I'm going to grab the loop and just start wrapping. And I'm just picking up that cut end, and I'm going to do a few wraps. Get everything nice and centered. And then, you know, from here you can stop and say, I'm thrilled with it, cut it off, or keep going down to the pendant. And that's what I think I'm going to do, and maybe lay a squiggle on the front of my pendant. Right about there. I'm going to turn it this way and make a small, I need a fresh cut here. I have a pointy end. I'm going to make a small spiral. A tighter one. I've been doing loose ones. I'm going to do a tighter one. Okay, so I'm going to stop there because I don't want to spiral all the way. I want to do a squiggle here. So I am going to come right here, get in here and give this its first little bend. Then I'm going to come on this side and give it another little bend, and I'm going to work my way down like that. Different spots on my round nose pliers so I get different size bends. Push it against my bead, and I'm going to do one more bend right here. Oh, that's so pretty. And then I'm just going to come in and adjust it so that it's laying flat against my stone. I just love how it looks like the spiral just trickled down the front of the stone. It's really pretty. Happy with it. Make a few little adjustments here. Okay, I am thrilled with it. I think it's gorgeous, and it's going to get attached with 2 jump rings to the bottom of my hand hammered pendant. So now that I see my pendant on here, I'm not happy with my closure, so I'm going to snip this away and recreate this closure. That's what I love about wire too. It's very inexpensive and it doesn't cost much to try things. And if you don't like it, it's not like, you know, I spent a lot of money on that few inches of wire. I'm going to take another piece of my 18 gauge wire, and I think I'm going to do, instead of trying to go for a I didn't like the triangular shape because everything that I have going on in my necklace is spiral. So I'm going to go for a softer spiral hook. I am also going to add in with gold jump rings a couple of these links. I'm going to put 1 on this side and 2 on this side, and that's going to give me all of these links to make a little copper bracelet with. And so what I have out here, I'm going to do bracelets with. I was kind of saving out the pine cones and then some of my gold acorns from the sister website and some of these other beads. And I'm going to do maybe a little stack of bracelets. So I can move all of these things out of the way and focus on connecting to my necklace. And then for adding in my components, I am just going to choose a spot. So maybe 4, 5, 6, cut this 7th ring, and I'm just going to add these in with gold jump rings. I just love gold, copper, pink, and purple. Oh my goodness, that is perfection in Joey land. So I'm just going to work my way up my chain like this, just adding in the little components that I made that mix all those elements. Okay, that side is done. Look how gorgeous that is. And I'm going to come over here and do the same thing on this side. I'm going to do a longer area. So I did 6 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to cut this side on the 16th link. Don't ask me how I determined that. I was just looking at about half the space, I guess, because I want it to be asymmetrical. So on this side, I'm going to connect my little component first, and then another jump ring, or I'm sorry, my little link first, and then another jump ring, and then my component. So finishing up this side with a gold jump ring. I love that little pop of the gold jump ring because it becomes like a gold link in the chain. And these jump rings that I had found that I've been working with this assortment, they're a really heavy gauge and they close to a perfect round. So I'm going to pop these back in my little dish here because I don't want to lose any of them. So of course you could use the toggle that came in the box and do a front closure with the toggle and not do the handmade one. If you are a person that says, oh no, I don't do wire. I read a lot of comments and a lot of you just don't do wire working much. So you could totally adjust this design by using what came, the toggle, the commercially made toggle that came in the box. But I think this is so gorgeous. It's so textural and interesting and asymmetrical, and it just, you really see everything because even though it's interesting, it's not too busy. There's only 3 handmade beaded components that kind of lead down into the pendant, and I just think that you're not covering up the gemstone at all with this embellishment. I'm going to do one more little bend. I just really love the way that it turned out. I think it's really classy, and if you wear turtleneck sweaters or even a turtleneck stretchy t-shirt, this type of a necklace is so beautiful coming from underneath a turtleneck. And I love my copper and pink and lilac earrings. So I thank you so much for watching. You guys, don't forget that I have a discount code to Bargain Bead Box. It really is one of the best values on the market. You just get so much. You get long strands, you get gemstones, you get findings. Like for the amount that you get and also the lengths of the strands, the price is unbeatable. And then my discount code helps. And then for other things that you might need, the website is huge. It's well organized, and that 30% really is giving you wholesale prices. So it just really is a good deal. So tap more underneath the video title, and that will open my description box. And then you'll find all the information, my tools, anything extra that I've brought in that I can link for you is always there. And I thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll subscribe and tap the notification where the bell is that says all. So when I upload another video, you don't miss it, because I do have more projects planned with this box, and of course, a lot more videos and fun things coming to my channel. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great week.